Good morning. Whoops, that's not gonna work. Welcome. We are going live to show the live stitch out of the Girl Troll Peeker. So I'm going to wait for some people to join and then we'll get started. This is what we are going to work on today. It's the girl, and she is 3D, so we're going to have two hoopings. We're going to do a hooping for her ears, and then we'll do the hooping for the towel itself. And I'm just going to finish getting everything up and ready while everyone's joining. I'm just getting my stabilizer cut out. She already is listed on the site for sale, so if you plan on purchasing her, she is still on intro pricing, and you can kind of follow along with the steps. There is a PDF step-by-step guide in the purchase that you can download and follow along while we do her. So I'm going to move the camera. I'm going to show you, I'm going to cut out my hood, and I'll show you how I cut my hoods really quick. I cut and use hoods, well, here's one already cut, but I'm going to cut one bigger. It's a large bath towel, so here's half of the towel. It's cut in half. So I'm going to make a hood out of this half and a hood out of this half. I make them 24 inches long, so out of each regular size bath towel, I get 4 hoods. On this particular one, I'm going to actually cut it a little bit deeper. Normally I do 10 inches, but since these trolls stand up more because of their hair, I'm going to cut out a little bit taller. So I think I'm going to make it more like 11 inches instead of my normal 10. And please forgive me, my stuff is everywhere and I might look a little lost today. We got a new machine in the room last night and I'm trying to figure out how it works best because it's huge. Hey Joy, thanks for coming. Good morning, Christine. I had to read what you were saying. I was like, what? Okay. As I was saying, you're not late. You haven't missed anything. I'm just getting the stabilizer cut, and I'm showing my hood. I'm going to do the stabilizer just because I'm here. And I'm going to need 2 pieces. The troll is 2 hoopings. So I'm going to need those. And then to finish off my hood, like I was saying, so this is half of a bath towel, the long, like, there's one end and the end. So I've already used half of it. So I'm going to cut this other half, and my length is always 24 inches. So I'm going to, and I cut the edge off, the bottom binding. Here, I'm going to cut this off because it's just going to add more bulk when I serge the hood together. So I'm going to cut that off real quick. And I'm also just kind of wasting time until more people join us, and then we'll get going. So I'm going to cut this end off. And then I'm going to go 24 inches. And this towel, like my 9-year-old uses these. My 14-year-old runs around with the Batman one on. I don't think she actually uses it as a towel. but I mean, they're perfect size for my 5-year-old and my 9-year-old also. So, and they're not really, they're kind of short little kids though. So, just take that and you can make your hood bigger, smaller. If you're going to make them for adults, I'd probably make them a little longer. So now this is 1/4 of your towel. And as you can see, this measures 24 wide. My peeker is going to go down here in the middle. So now I need to cut off some of the depth because I'm going to make this for my 5-year-old. So I want it to be able to not be too big on her. And I need it to be tall enough to fit the troll. The troll's hair sticks up fairly high. Your hoop is going to be aimed a little, you're going to work in the length of your hoop today because of their hair. It just is what it is. I like doing my peekers the other direction, but it's really not going to hurt anything. So anyway, I normally make them 10 by 24. Today I'm going to make it more like 11 by 24. And that's what I did when I made the first one. So I know that'll work. So now, after you cut your towel into 4ths, you're going to end up with these little scraps. This is all you have left over. So you're getting 4 hoods out of each one big towel. And when they're on sale, someone mentioned in my group yesterday, these towels are on sale at Kohl's right now for, I think, $2 or $3.99. So if I can get 4 hoods out of that, I'm pretty excited. So now we have our hood ready, and I've got my 2 stabilizers because this is 2 hoopings. Joy, yeah, if you go back out and come back in, sometimes it'll come back for you. But yeah, this video will be saved on my Facebook page, and I also have a YouTube channel now, which I'll put a link below that you can find all of our videos. And if you subscribe to that, you'll be alerted when I add new ones. So if you do miss a stitch out or you didn't know about one, you'll be able to go back and check it out later. So I'm just lining up what I need for the towels. The ears are 3D. As you can see on her, she has 3D ears. So we are going to need a separate fabric. We're going to need vinyl for her face. We're going to need fabric for her hair, which I'm using this amazing faux fur from Joann's. And I believe it's on sale right now. And then I'm going to use regular marine vinyl for her face, which I typically get my marine vinyl from Meekry World. I've also ordered some from Punk Broidery this week, but I ordered it in Christmas colors. I'm so excited to start working with that. But today we're using Meekry. And then I used vinyl on her ears, and let me warn you, it's awful to turn, but the end result is awesome. But for the sake of this video, so you don't have to watch me fight through that, I'm going to use flannel for her ears. So I'm going to grab that. I actually had flannel for the boys' ears, so I need to get a different color. Okay, so I'm going to use this color for her ears, and then I just need to get the vinyl for her face. So let's start with her ears. I'm going to get the hoop, and we're going to get started. So when you run this, make sure to run the ears first. If you've never done a 3D peeker, you're going to have your ears ready because they're going to get stitched on during the stitch out of the regular part of her face. And I'm not using my fast frames today just because there is so... Oh my gosh, my hoop is a little tight. I got some different stabilizers. You're going to need to take your item on and off the hoop to cut. So to save time, I'm just going to use my regular hoops. So I'm not constantly having to screw and unscrew the fast frame. So I'm going to move the camera now over to the machine. put the hoop on, and we're going to start, like I said, with the ears. And I changed my first color. Maybe. I need time to go. Let's start. So I'm going to pull up the ears. And you might need to rotate them based on your machine. It'll tell, it might say it won't fit. You just need to rotate them. So first it's going to stitch out the placement stitch of where we're going to need our fabric. So I'm going to get that stitch out. Any questions as I'm going, let me know, and I'll be sure to, I'm looking every once in a while to read your comments, and I'll answer as soon as I read it while I'm doing this. So step one, on the ears, you're going to stitch out, this is the placement stitch for your fabric. So this is where I'm going to lay down one piece of my ear fabric facing up, so the good side that I will want to see when the ears are off the machine and on her head. So I'm going to get one piece and I'm going to cover both ears because I can cut them out afterwards. And I'm just using flannel. It'll be easy to turn and it'll be washable. So now I'm going to run, this second step is a tack down stitch. It's going to hold my ear in place. Or the ear fabric, sorry. Okay, so now I have tacked down my ears. So I'm going to angle this a little more. So I've tacked down my ears, and now the third stitch is going to be the inner ear, like the little shadow of the ear. So I'm going to make that a lighter pink. morning, Amanda and Angela and Sarah. Thank you for joining us. Or me, I guess. Me and my machine. Okay, so now I'm going to take it off. It is stitched out. This is my tack down just to hold down my fabric. And this is the inner ear, it's stitched out. So now after the inner ear stitches out, I'm going to lay another piece of fabric down. And this time I'm going to place it face down so that it covers up what I'm seeing. So this is the front and this is the back. I'm going to lay it and cover both ears. And I'm going to have the back side facing up. So now we're going to sandwich the two layers of fabric together. And this is going to do a triple stitch to secure them. Hi Nancy, thank you for joining us. Good morning, Heather. This is also not going to stitch all the way around. The lighting is really bad. The light on my machine is blinding it. I'll have to show you in just a second. If you're just joining us, we are stitching out the Girl Troll Peeker today. So now we're done with the first hooping. We now have, and you can't see it's in light pink, we have our tack down stitch, and it left an opening at the bottom so that we can cut these out and turn them. So if you look on the back, here's ear 1, ear 2. So I'm going to back this up a little bit and cut these out. You want to have these done before you run the main hood. Otherwise, you're not going to have any ears and you're going to have to stop. And unless you have 2 hoops, you're actually going to have to start all over. It looks like I sewed part of the fabric inside my ear, so that's a fun way to start. So we're going to cut these out. Luckily, this one's for my daughter. So what are you guys all up to today, other than watching me? Because that's a fun Friday. My daughter has homecoming this weekend. The dance is tomorrow. Football game is tonight. My youngest has soccer practice, and my middle has a soccer game. So I should probably be napping right now. So here's ear 1 and ear 2, and there's an opening at the bottom of each of them. So I'm going to turn one. Turn it so you can see. Deanna, when I cut it out, I cut through the stabilizer and just go right around it. So then you're left with this. And I typically pull the stabilizer off, but I'm going to leave it today. So here's the ear. I'm going to put my thumbs in and pull just a little bit out, like this. And I'm going to start pushing. Oh, Nancy, you're going to be busy. I bet you love it, though. At least you can send them back afterwards, right? Spoil them, send them back. That's what my mother-in-law does. I would not use scissors because it may poke through your fabric, especially since I'm using flannel, but I'm just pushing gently. Whoops. So I'm going to push it through and get this ear turned. Whoops. So here's the first ear. And honestly, this is the one that I sewed inside itself, and it doesn't look so bad, so yay! Okay, so here's the second ear. I'm going to turn this one and show you again how I flipped it, just in case. So, it's like a tube right now. Well, not a tube, because it's closed then. And put 2 fingers in, and kind of flip it out. And to those of you, just a side note, to those of you keeping your grandkids over the weekend, oh my goodness, you guys are awesome. And from a mom whose mother-in-law keeps her kids a lot, it's a nice refresher. I do miss them the whole time they're gone, but my husband and I can, you know, get stuff done around the house. Not that our kids are a lot older now. They're, well, not a lot, but they're 5 and 9 and 14, so it's not like we're taking care of new babies or up all night, but you know, Grandma likes to entertain them and spoil them and take them to McDonald's and stuff like that. And you know, my husband and I can just kind of rekindle, regroup. It doesn't happen a lot, but my mother-in-law begs to keep the kids, and my kids beg to go to Grandma's, so it all works out. So thank you. In case they don't tell you, I'm sure they do. So here's your 2 ears, and they're all ready to be stitched on. So we're going to set those aside, and then we're going to start with step number 2, which is the main head of our troll. The fun part. This is the part where it's going to come to life. So I'm going to get my hoop ready, and then I'm going to show you. Need my hoop. I swear the fan is blowing everything, so I turn around and my stabilizer's gone. Okay, so now I have my stabilizer hooped. Now this time my peeker, her head, this is how the peeker is going to be. The face is down here and then the hair comes up here. So I need to hoop my towel differently than I normally do. So keep that in mind. I want the bottom of my towel at the bottom of my hoop. And on these files, let me get it started. Oh, I gotta rotate it. On these files, I've actually placed a stitch line so you know where to lay your towel. So you run step 1. Well, of course I use needle when it's not threaded. I'm going to use a darker one anyway. So you can see what I'm doing because that was yellow and it'll be hard to see. I'm going to try something. Okay, so step one is just a simple line. I'm going to show you. So this line is going to show you where to put your towel. This is where the final line of stitching is going to be. So it's going to have, in the final line, the most bottom, not the final, sorry. This is the most bottom of the hood. So this is your last stitch out of the satin stitch around her face, is the furthest part down. So this line is going to run right over this line. So you want to hoop your towel accordingly. If you like it up farther, then adjust it up. If you want it closer to the edge, I would put this line just slightly above the rim of your towel because, again, it's going to be a satin stitch, so you have to account for that width. It's not going to be this thin, but this is the line that satin stitch is going to go evenly over. So now I'm going to hoop my towel. And I float my towels, so I fold them in half to find the center. I'll show you just a minute. Okay, so this is how I hoop my towels, no matter which way they're going. So my line is back here, and you can see through here the bottom of my towel is there. I hooped it a little further down. So this is ready to go. I'm going to put this on the hoop and get ready to stitch the second part. Okay, so step one on her is her ears. So it's going to run a placement stitch for her left ear. So run your placement stitch and then your machine will stop. So now we have a placement stitch here. Oh my gosh, seriously. Oh, since I changed my room around, the lighting is awful. I'm going to have to change this so you guys can see. So I have a placement stitch, and then I'm going to lay my ear down. You're going to lay your ears, figure out, you can lay them either way. Lay them this way, or you can flip them, lay them this way. I like them looking up. So I'm going to lay this over my placement stitch. So here's my placement stitch. I'm going to lay my ear right over that line. I'm going to line the seam lines up. And you can use painter's tape or pin it a little farther off so your needle doesn't go over your pin. Or I'm going to risk my fingers. I'm just going to kind of hold it here. Just make sure that it's laying right there. Run the next step, and the next step is going to tack it down. And then you run the same for the other side. I'm going to run the other side. And then I'll show you. Oops, I forgot. We're going to lay our ear down. Whoops. Yeah, I noticed that. So make sure your ear is heading towards the outside of the hoop. Does anyone have any questions so far? I know this is pretty straightforward so far. So here we are. I've got both ears tacked down, and I'm ready to start stitching her face. The next stitch is actually going to be the placement stitch for her face. So we're going to do the pink part now, or whatever color you choose to make her, but I'm going to make her pink. Farther than the way to be. Okay, so I'm using this pink vinyl. We're going to lay that down. We've run our placement stitch, and now we're going to run our tack down stitch for, oh, it's already on floor, for the face fabric. Is there anyone watching that has never made a piquer towel before? Will this be your first one? So now we have our tack down stitch, around, and I'm going to cut that out. When I cut, I have these applique scissors, and I'm going to lay them down so the bill of it is underneath this. I'm going to move up to this table, just in case if you've never done applique before or a piquer towel. I'm going to show. I'm going to cut around it. This is really hard holding the thing up in the air. You see it gets nice and close. I'm going to turn it. I have to hold the ear back, so sorry. This is the part where I love my fast frames. It is so much easier to cut, but You make sure not to trim the ears. I'm still going around, but you gotta move the ear out so you don't trim over that. Also, I forgot to mention, when you're making the ears, on the first one you see, I used glitter vinyl for her ears, which looks so awesome. I absolutely love how they turned out. The problem is when your machine is stitching, at one point it's going over multiple layers of marine vinyl, and it's also going over your towel, and it's going over the layer of hair fabric. We're going to lay the hair down. So it is going through, your machine is stitching through so much stuff. My machine could handle it, but even that, I had to slow it down. So I'm not sure if my old single needle would have handled it. So just keep that in mind when you're picking out your fabric. Some things may look awesome, but with this one, there's just so many layers. I did the flannel with the boy, and it went through so much easier. So anyway, so this is where I'm at now. I've cut around my face fabric. I've got my ears tacked down, and now we're ready to do the hair. So I'm going to run the placement stitch on the hair. What is up with the lighting today? It is really rainy outside, and so I can't get the lighting in here to work with me so you guys can see my machine as it's stitching. Okay, I'm done. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we have the placement for the hair fabric. And this is what I've chosen for the hair fabric. How trollish does this look? So cool. So when you lay this down, make sure your ears are still out and flat. Make sure your fabric covers your placement stitch. And then because of the nature of this furriness, I'm going to lay down a piece of wash away solvent. Maybe. Where'd it go? This is the wash away. I'm going to lay this on top just so my needle does not get caught in the hair, because this fabric is so hairy, it's ridiculous. So I'm going to run my tack down stitch. So now we have our tack down stitch for the hair. So I'm going to cut out around the outside of this, which this will be fun considering the furriness. I'm going to move the camera over here now. And again, trim as close as you can to your threads without cutting through them. I'm going to be sneezing this fabric out all night. It is so furry and it just starts flying. Sorry, I saw my throat. Make sure not to cut through your ear again when you're cutting out all these fabrics. You've got so many layers going on. You guys are so quiet today. No one's talking. So do you guys do craft fairs with your peekers, or do you sell them on Etsy? Do you do a little bit of both? Do you just sell them through Facebook? I personally hoard them all until I'm doing 2 craft fairs this year. The first one was it's always in June. It's Strawberry Fest. And average totals are about 40,000. They do really well there. And then they have the same craft fair, only in October, and it's apple butter. And when that one, their averages are about 100,000 people over the weekend. It's one of Missouri's biggest craft fairs. So we're going to do that one. It's October 30th. It's always around my daughter's birthday. My middle one, her birthday is October 30th, so it's actually on her birthday this year. So she's super excited. We always like to go walk and craft. And my husband enjoys sitting at the booth, so I think he likes to flirt with the old ladies. He's a charmer. Gotta keep my eye on him. We make it a family thing. The girls come out and help. My mother-in-law has a booth. She sells jewelry as well as my sister-in-law. And my other sister-in-law comes and helps. So my nieces and nephews are there. And gets a little crazy, but we have fun. Other than that, I don't really do a lot of craft fairs. I do love going to them though. Becky, no, the Strawberry Festival that I do is in Missouri. I live a little bit outside of St. Louis. Okay, so now I have... Oh my gosh, Amanda, I have to keep an eye on my husband. Like, seriously, the old ladies come up and he's like, Flirt, I swear he sells more. He can convince someone who doesn't want one to buy at least two. And they walk away happy with their purchase. I'm like, how are you not in sales? Like, seriously. He is just, I mean, he's good at what he does anyway, but... he likes to go. I think. So I had to trim that up a little bit. This hair is so hard to cut around. So I have her all cut around her hair. And this is the point where last time, I debated if I was even going to put the satin stitch down, because with the trolls, their hair is kind of everywhere. Like mine today, I keep getting it out of my face. So I thought, why have a satin stitch to hold it down? But, you know, that's debatable. Whatever you want. It covers everything up. You can have the raw edge or do a satin stitch. I'm going to do a satin stitch today. So here's where we're at now, though. I've cut around, and we're going to put it back on the hoop. Just hold on, I've got a rogue thread. Where is it coming from? Oh my gosh. I have this thread and I'm pulling on it. And I'm like, it's a pink thread. So I'm looking for pink spool of thread, and then I start pulling it. And I'm like, no, it's teal. Oh, it's color changing thread. Hello. Okay, so back to the machine. Let me get you from the other angle here. Oh my gosh, Heather, that sounds like so much fun. Ours are like, the one that I'm doing is the day before Halloween, so I'm like, I don't want to stock up on Halloween stuff, but I have some really cute designs I'm working on that I really want to put out there. So we'll see. I mean, I'll just have them for next year, right? Oh my gosh, Angela. That's hilarious. These boys, I tell you, I guess they have to entertain themselves with these craft shows, right? Okay, so now in the file, there are highlights for her hair. Oh my gosh, there's a thread. I keep tripping on, I can't find it. I know what I'm doing today. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place today. So the next part is the highlights. I'm going to skip them. I'm going to show you them on my machine, maybe. So Okay, I'm like fed up with this lighting today. I'm gonna have to figure this out. Anyway, the next step is highlights, and I'm gonna skip since I'm doing furry. There's 2 of them. They're 2 different colors. You can put them on there. If you're using like vinyl for their hair, you might want the highlights. It adds a little depth to it. But since I'm doing it on this furry hair, I'm not going to add the highlights because they'll just kind of mat it down, and we don't want to do that. So our next step is her eyelashes and the shadows of her eyes, which are black. Now we have her eyes done. Okay, so all my thread fell earlier. So I have all these spools sitting around and they are getting caught in everything, as you can see. Okay, so now we're going to do the inside of her eyes, like the whites of her eyes. Also forgot to do on her, I did it with him. I folded his ear over just a little bit before I did the face fabric, so it kind of makes him look like he's got some cute little curved ears. There's lots of different ways you can do. So now we're going to do the colors of her eyes, which I'm going to do is this teal color, just because it coordinates. So now I have this all done on her face so far. The hardest part, honestly, is over. You've got your 3D parts added. You've got the furry hair added, all your different layers. Now all of this is just stitching out details. The last part, though, on her is her headband. So you will want to watch out for that. That'll go absolutely last. Now we're going, whoops, I need 6, black. We're going to do the pupils now. So did I talk to you guys about the other day? I don't know if I asked about, or if you were here the other day for the stitch out. If you guys use vinyl cutters like heat transfer, do you guys do anything with heat transfer? Woo! Dropped the iPad. Sorry about that, guys. I dropped the iPad right off the stand. The last of her eyes is the little glimmer part. Oh my gosh, it landed on my toe. That hurt. So anyway, as I was asking, do any of you guys do vinyl, or are you strictly embroidery? Or have you thought about it? Oh my gosh, seriously, my toe is broken. Hurt really good. No one does vinyl. Okay. Whoa. So now, here she is so far. Her cute little face. After staring at a design for so long, when I'm designing it, I start thinking it doesn't look like it's supposed to. I start thinking, oh my gosh, is this right? Can they even tell what it is? Well, yesterday I got confirmation when my youngest got home from school, and she goes, oh my gosh, you did trolls. And she's like, I'm so excited, I can't wait. And she started claiming them. I'm like, whoa, 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 back up. Back up. You don't get them. No, Angela, I don't cover mine with anything. I'm not sure what, my iPad's alerting me that my storage is almost full, which means there's pictures and videos of kids on here because they play with it. I don't cover them with anything. I guess you could put some Tender Touch or Cloud Cover on the back of them if you want. I personally do not. I just leave them how they are. I haven't had any complaints. But I never thought of putting anything on the back. It would make it softer for sure. So now I'm going to do the nose. Where's my pink? My toe is still tingling. That thing hurt. It landed really sharp on my toe. Can't help this stuff when you're live. Sorry. Good morning, Melissa. Thank you for joining us. We're in the middle of the Girl Peeker. I do both of them, but they take forever. Not forever. Both of them would, because I would have to cut the hoods, get everything ready. And my sewing machines hate me this week. I had to pull out my second sewing machine, and that one wouldn't work either. Yesterday was just a nightmare in the sewing room. If you ever wonder why I'm late releasing things, it's because things just quit working. My machine quit working. One quit catching the bobbin thread. One wouldn't catch the top thread. And so then I ended up serging them, and it worked, but okay. So now we have our nose done. Hi, Pat. We're working on the girl. We're finishing up her face details right now. And now we're going to run the satin. Actually, I'm going to cut. I didn't trim this vinyl, the pink vinyl, so I'm going to trim that a little better. Let me get my scissors. Okay, so all I'm doing, I'm just cutting a little closer to the tack down stitch on her face vinyl. I didn't cut very close. So now I'm cutting closer, because now we're going to run the satin stitch for her face. Normally all my satin stitches are at the end, so once you're done putting all your vinyl and or applique, whatever you're using, fabric down, you can just let it run. And on this particular one, the satin stitches are kind of in the middle because of the layering of things. You need the satin stitches done before another layer of something else. So if you're looking at this and thinking, I know before I started digitizing, I would use Sew It Pro and I would go in and rearrange things so they would work better for me. Well, then I would end up having my design stitch out and like colors were in the wrong places or not layered right. So just be careful when you do that. Just a little warning, especially on this one. Make sure your satin stitches stitch out before the end. Just stitch everything in order, because there's a reason for it. I know sometimes it's annoying, but to get the correct look, you want it stitched out in the right order. So anyway, this is stitching her face. Satin stitch. Glad you guys were able to join me today. I know it's hard this time of day. It's a lot of people work or they're working on orders. Maybe I'm hoping once soccer and sports are done for the winter that I can start doing them on the weekends or more in the evenings. But right now we're just not home. I'm home all day long by myself, and then 3 o'clock, Mike gets home, and it just continues. And then as soon as the kids are home from the bus at 4, we're running to soccer and volleyball and gymnastics. And it just doesn't make it easy. Ooh, that was fun. It doesn't make it easy to get all you guys here for my stitch out. So I do appreciate that you guys are here. It also kind of encouraged me to get my page up and running for my YouTube channel. So I'm going to post a link below of my YouTube channel. If you subscribe to that, it will alert you when I put new videos on. So if you miss one of my live broadcasts or you didn't even know about it, you can check there periodically. They'll always be saved in the Facebook group as well. So you can scroll. But if you don't want to scroll for days through pages of that, I'm
hoping to get it all organized in different areas so things are easy to find for you guys. And if there's ever a tutorial on something that you want to make that you've seen that you don't know, I enjoy sewing. I have my serger, I have my embroidery machine, and now I'm starting to get into vinyl as well. So I'm willing to try new things. I'm willing to figure out a pattern. Like I mentioned, I have 8 hours a day that I'm home. I digitize most of those hours, but I do need a break as well. Just otherwise it gets boring, and I don't want to hate what I do. I absolutely love digitizing. I like making new designs. So if you've got a challenge for me, bring it on. Let me know. Post in the group. So now we have the satin stitch of her face done. And we're going to now do her hair. And I'm going to do that in purple. We're getting really colorful with this. My 5-year-old loves all these colors, so she's in heaven. So anyway, we're going to do purple on that. Whoa. Okay, sorry. It's her eyebrow. Her eyebrow is going to match her hair. So, it scared me for a second. Lindy, it's a crazy time of our lives, and sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I would really like to just not do something for an evening, but it's so much fun watching my girls do what they do. Our oldest plays volleyball, and it's so amazing to watch her. Our youngest just started soccer. Our middle one plays soccer as well. This is her last season, I think. She's really getting into gym. So we've got gymnastics. So it's kind of a change. I'm not watching the same sport every night either, so I kind of like that they all have different things that they enjoy. Mike plays basketball and volleyball, or no, not volleyball. He plays basketball and soccer, and I used to go to his soccer games, but they're on Sunday nights at like 11. So, I don't get to see those anymore. I miss that. But this won't last long. We've only got 13 years left with kids at home, so it goes by fast. Okay, so this is going to take a while to stitch out. Hopefully I can start figuring out my YouTube editing software and edit moments like this out. But for the meantime, I need to fill them. So I'm going to show you something. I said I'm starting to do vinyl, and we got a new vinyl cutter last night. Oh my gosh. So this is what I had to rearrange my whole room to fit this thing into it. It's not even plugged in yet. The cord is not even plugged into the machine yet because I am terrified to turn it on. So there it is. That's our new toy to go along with our heat press we got a couple weeks ago. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is learning how to use that. Heather, my mom always said the years go so fast, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. They're going to drag by. And no, it's so fast. It really hit me when Kinsley started kindergarten this year that we're finished with that phase of life and moving on to the next. Yes, Heather, that is a vinyl cutter. I had a silhouette, I still have it. It was the 8x12, the small little thing. And I was like, I want to upgrade. I need something bigger. I want to do 12x12. So I bought the new Cricut Explore Air, which I was so excited, and I was using it. It's great. Well, the software runs on the internet. You can't use it without the internet right now. They haven't changed that yet. And our internet quit work. I was like, it's not a big deal. We always have internet. I've got Wi-Fi. Well, our internet went out for a couple days, and I could not work. And I had a friend ask me to do 65 shirts for her work, and I couldn't do them because I couldn't design anything because the software wouldn't work. So I was like, I'm not dealing with that. Took it back. And I was going to get the Cameo 3, the Silhouette Cameo, and no one locally had it. I started looking online, and Mike said, you know, he for a while wanted to get into vinyl, so he said, just go for it, and we've got a big one. So it's definitely, they go up to 52 inches. This one is only 24, but I'm excited. I'm going to do some big things. I have to buy some new vinyl, though. My rolls aren't big enough. If any of you have one of these big vinyl machines, my hair is crazy. If any of you have one of these vinyl machines, help me out here. I have, like I said, I haven't even plugged it in yet. It's going to be like my embroidery machine. It sat for a year before I touched it. I actually gave it back. Heather, it's like to cut out designs on vinyl. Like, you want to do a t-shirt, like say I wanted to make this shirt, this is all vinyl, the machine would cut out the heart and the cross and the letters, and then I would put it on my heat press and make the t-shirt. Actually, I think I have, hold on, I'll show you. One I messed up, so it's in the trash, so it's got thread on it, but this is what it cuts out, and then you heat transfer it on. So these are just little pieces of vinyl, so it'll cut that out for you. And now I can do big stuff. We're done with the top part of her hair. Now we have to go around all her bang area and over by her ears. I do need some vinyl for her headband and her flowers, so I'm going to look for that. Yeah, Heather, the vinyl is a whole nother monster that you'll get sucked into, like, embroidery, but I love it. I love learning new things. I've had my silhouette for a couple years now, and we've made cups, and I actually made a cup for my daughter. Yesterday it's been Spirit Week. It was lazy day yesterday, so she wore like sweatpants and a big hoodie, and then she also took a cup, and it was like a Yeti travel mug thing, and it said, I wish she was on. She was supposed to join us from 4th hour, which she can because it's downtime. Gosh, it said something about be quiet. I'm sorry I'm late. I don't want to be here. That's what it said. I'm sorry I'm late. I don't want to be here. So that's fun. I can make fun stuff like that. Personalize everything. Hi, Joe. Thank you for joining us. We're almost done with our girl troll. We've been stitching her out. Since you're just now joining us, when this video's over, it will be posted in my group as well as the YouTube channel, so you can watch from the beginning and fast forward through these dull times where I'm just babbling. This is what we're making. So right now we're working on the satin stitching around her hair. And then all we have left to do is her headband and her flowers. And I think I ran out of bobbin thread. Let's see what's going on. Yep. Maybe. I can't find the star. Okay, here it is. That's funny. Since it's satin stitching, I'm going to back it up a couple stitches. Okay, so continuing on, we are working on her. She's almost done. This is another thing I was going back and forth with on her. So this is fur, and I started pulling it out to make it like this up here. And then I thought, well, if this isn't a ponytail, it should stay matted down. Sorry, it's going up my nose. It's like flying. The stuff I cut. So anyway, I decided to just leave it matted down. I haven't washed it yet. So I'm going to do that. I have a load running right now. So as soon as that's done, I'm going to throw it in the wash and see how it comes out, because that would really stink if you make it and work. We're almost done. So for her headband, I picked out some fun Micri vinyl. I have purple, glitter, and these are going to be the flowers. Actually, I'm going to do pink flowers today. Sure. Instead. Gotta swoop down and around and we're done. I'm gonna have to work on the lighting in here so you guys can actually watch it stitch out, because that's kind of annoying. have this happen where the lighting is this bad. Angela, no, I do not wash my towels first. These are straight out of the bags from Kohl's or Penny's or wherever I bought them from. And put on my shelf, pull them out, and start cutting. So I do not wash them first. Now, after the hair satin stitch, we are going to run the ponytail holder, which we're going to make pink. I'm going to actually, hold on, I'm going to change the color real quick to a darker pink so it shows up. All my thread fell off my amazing thread thing yesterday, or not yesterday, today. And so it's just everywhere. It's driving me crazy. So I'm going to be cleaning all afternoon. It's kind of rainy here, so I really just want to like curl up and read a book or watch a movie would be nice. But that's not going to happen today. So I put that on 4. I tried to eat breakfast this morning, so I'm kind of hungry. Couldn't decide what I wanted, and then I just didn't eat anything. And on the headband, or not the headband, the ponytail holder, it's actually going over a satin stitch that was laid down for the hair. So on her hair, you can't see it here, but this satin stitch goes all the way around and meets over here. Normally I would cut out this area when I'm digitizing. You don't cut it. I would normally cut out that area of satin stitches so you don't have a bunch overlapping. But for this particular design, I left it there so that it kind of bumps out, like it adds a little puffiness to the ponytail holder. So it just kind of gives it dimension like it would really be a ponytail holder. Because, you know, they kind of stick out a little bit. So anyway, just to kind of explain that, don't worry about it. It's actually starting and stopping a little bit away from the actual satin stitch itself, so it's not running into it, so it's not going to be going through multiple layers of stitching, so don't worry about that. The next line I'm going to run is the placement stitch for her headband, which again, I'm using glitter vinyl on this. I would use something that does not fray. You don't have to use glitter vinyl, use any marine vinyl if you don't have glitter vinyl. Or you can use Heat and Bond Light on a fabric, depending on what you use for the hair. The reason being is there's no satin stitch on the headband. So I'm going to lay down. I'm using this purple. I'm going to lay it down. And I'm going to show you when it's done. I'm going to pull it off. Couple more minutes, ladies. And gentlemen, if there's gentlemen watching. And so too. Okay, so totally messed up. Hold on. I did not cover. The whole point of a placement stitch is to show you where to lay your fabric down. Well, I missed the mark on that on both sides. So I'm going to, luckily on my, I caught it before I did the triple stitch. So I'm just gonna pull this out. So for anyone who is just starting, if you've never made a piquer before, never done applique, even those of us that have done it for a couple of years now, get to be really good friends with our seam rippers. Except I don't have mine this moment, so I'm using my scissors. Try this again. Sure, it's covered. Okay, so now we're going to triple stitch this in place. I love it, but I hate every time I have to use it. Okay, so, ooh, sorry, I'm really trying to hurt myself today. So here is, it's all, I wasted so much down here. I should have paid better attention and lined that up. So anyway, here it is. I'm going to cut out around that, again, using my applique scissors. I have this blue fur, blue and pink and teal fur all over me. Now this purple, I'm going to cut as best that I can around it for the video. And then, for the hooping, I just need to get as much trimmed as I can so that I can do the flowers. And then once I'm done with the whole towel, and I can pull it off my hoop, I'll go back and clean these up because it's kind of hard getting at some of the angles with it still being on the hoop since I'm not using my fast frames today. Again, and I'm not using my fast frames because with this particular piquer, there's a lot of different steps. So I've been pulling her on and off and I've been showing you guys different things. So I don't want to have to be screwing and unscrewing a hoop the whole time. That would take even longer. So here we go. I cut it out the best that I could for now, and we'll clean it up when we're done. So there's her headband. It kind of looks like Doc McStuffin's headband right now. That was a fun color choice. Oh my gosh, hold on just a minute. Like, you guys would think I'm joking right now. I sewed the towel to the back of my hoop. Okay, so that's fun. Because that was triple stitch. Hold on. Don't badmouth your seam ripper while you're working or you're going to end up using it. This is not, I am so sorry, guys. What a day this is turning out to be, seriously. I think I'm going to take my, oh my gosh, no. I'm going to take my own advice and go take a nap today. This is just insane. Luckily it's a towel, so it's forgiving. And it's for my daughter, so I'm not going to take too much time. So worried about not getting the ears caught. Seriously. Okay. So, try this again. I don't even know how that one got stuck under there because that's just crazy. Alright, I am going to go back over her headband really quick because I just seam ripped it. So I don't want it to fall out. And I'm going to get a piece of stabilizer. Just because I think I cut through some of it and like punched it out. Okay, for the third time, I'm going to tack this down. What a way to draw this out. Oh my gosh, guys. I am so sorry. But it's real, it's live. You guys get to see a day in the life of my craft room. Okay, so now the next step is going to be the placement and tack down of the flowers that I'm going to do. For the sake of time, I'm going to just run the tack downs on them. I'm going to use one whole sheet, not a whole sheet, but I'm going to lay it across the bottom of her headband. Just because I want all my flowers to be the same size. And that way I can just cut them all out when I'm done. But I have the flowers set up in the file so that you can do placement, tack down of one flower, placement, tack down of flower 2, placement, tack down of flower 3. I did that so that you can do separate colors on your flowers if you want to get creative with them. Because I believe Poppy actually has 3 different color flowers. So, anyway. But for now, I'm just going to run the tack downs on them all. And these also are not going to have satin stitches around them. They're going to be triple stitches, so you're just going to cut and you're going to leave the edges raw. So again, I would suggest using marine vinyl or another type of fabric that does not fray. Fur all over me from this one. Make sure and use your sewing machine, or your sewing machine, don't use your sewing machine. Use your vacuum hose and like suck the end of it. It'll pick up all the extra fibers because otherwise they will continue to come off forever. But I found that that hose will grab any loose ones so they're not constantly, like they're in my nose, they're in my ears, they're everywhere today, like floating. Get a little creative with these flowers here. trying to think of any more tips. If you have any questions before you run this or while you're running it, send me a message. I try to get back as soon as I can. I typically have my phone with me so I can answer questions. Send me an email. Facebook is the easiest way to get a hold of me. You can fill out the contact form on my actual website. And that'll send me an email also. But if you Facebook, just send me a private message, and I totally don't mind. I'll get to, it's not bothering me. At nighttime, they go into do not disturb, so don't worry about waking me up late at night. Gosh, I love these flowers. So we're almost done. Does anyone have any questions while we're sitting here? Just 10 more seconds. Does anyone have questions about putting a hooded towel together? If you do, feel free to ask. If haven't made one, if you haven't made one before and you're debating, I do have a video on our Facebook page. It's also on the YouTube channel now of how to make a hooded towel from start to finish. I show how to cut your hoods out and how to sew them up at the end and how to piece it all together. So they are so easy. They're such great gifts. So don't be intimidated. It'll be worth it if you haven't made one before. Okay. So now our 3 flowers are done. And like I said, on your file, it's going to stitch out placement, tack down, flower 1, placement, tack down, flower 2, placement, tack down, flower 3. So you can cut them out one at a time, use less vinyl. But that would take a long time for it to be on video. I mean, I don't want you guys to sit here watching me cut out and pull off and start, and so we're just for time constraints. All right, let's see. So I'm cutting around the flower here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I didn't even think about it. Since I'm done, just pull her right off the hoop. So here's the extra stabilizer I added when I had to go back. So this is going to make it easier to cut around the flowers as well. I can do it a lot quicker off the hoop. But only do this if you're completely done. Don't pull it off if there's more stitching. You will regret that. You have to start over. So, I'm still cutting around. I'm making sure not to go through the towel. Making sure to move the ear out of the way. There's a lot of things on this one that you could end up cutting. The headband now, I'm on top of the headband. So watch out for that. So I got my first flower free. Oh my gosh, these colors are totally straight out of 90s. This fits right in. Punky Brewster or something, I don't know. She was maybe 80s, I don't know. That was probably before the 90s. I don't know, I'm an 80s girl, so. I was born. I'm just babbling now as I cut, because I can't get this to cut right. Alright, I have, I only know Punky Brewster because my sister talks about her. She's older than me. I know who she is, but, and I maybe watched an episode. Every time I think very colorful, I think of her because she wore a lot of colors. Thanks for hanging on for so long. I know this has been a longer video, and there's been a lot of dead air time just because of the stitching. Again, I'm hoping I can figure out YouTube editing and get the videos edited and spliced and all that. My daughter said she's going to take over that. She likes that kind of stuff. Well, I don't know if she likes it. She's offered to do it. Okay, so I have my final flower. Oh, Rainbow Bright. That would be colorful too. Okay, so here she is. Hold on, I'm gonna turn this light off. Make sure she's lined up. And she still has the, oh, she's got a pin in her. Let me pull it out. So I still have the washable solvent on there. I'm going to pull that off. And kind of pull these out. I'm not cutting them. I'm just getting this underneath and popping them out a little bit out of the satin stitches. So that gives it a more troll-like look. So, again, I'm not going to finish this into a hooded towel on video. I'll spare that since most of you have probably made these before. But if you haven't, you can check out, I'll link my videos below where you can go watch how to do a hooded towel from start to finish. So there's that. Kind of gives it that troll-like hair look. And then I'm going to pull this all the way off the rest. I'm not going to pop the rest of it out. I'm going to leave it kind of matted down for now. I'm also going to wash these and see how this fabric holds up. This solvent stuff is like super thick. I bought it for making patches. So yeah, if you have any questions, comment below. I still go back after the videos. I still get alerted if someone asks a question. So even if this isn't live and you're watching it, go ahead and ask your questions and let me know if you think of something, or if you have a tip that I haven't mentioned, or something that could make it go easier, or something that's worked for you. Make sure and share it. Everyone in my group is super helpful, and we're all learning. I mean, I've been doing this not as long as others, but as we can see, I'm still learning to not catch my towel in the back. So there she is, all finished. You got your 3D ears, which they weren't hard. I know some people, I was scared of 3D for a long time. They're definitely more work, but they're fun. So she's definitely more detailed than most peekers that I do. So I probably wouldn't make 100 of these ones, but my 5-year-old is going to die when she gets home. I use purple's her favorite color, so she's gonna love it. So anyway, again, she is listed for sale. You can get her and the boy until midnight tonight. They're on intro pricing for only $6 for both of them, or they're $3.50 each. The boy I did with just straight vinyl, and he's still super cool looking. So he's definitely a lot less details. So if you want a quick troll, he's the way to go. So there you go, guys. Thank you again for joining us. If you have purchased the file, thank you so much. And make sure and share photos. Even if it's a different file that you've downloaded from me, share away. On this teal one, I honestly don't know what color I'm going to use for her. I'd probably pick out one in here. I'd probably do this light pink. Let me get a light pink towel. Yeah, I think I would definitely do light pink. Here's my light pink towel. I kind of rolled it really quick. And then that on top. So this is what it would look like. Really bad what it would look like. Yeah, I would definitely use light pink or even a light purple. I'd pick out something in her, but her face is probably the least bold, so I think that would be good. On this one, I used lighter pink, and since I did a lighter pink for her face and the towel, so since I did lighter colors up there, I did the darker purple on bottom. I would have rather done more. I used a lighter purple for her headband on that one, so I probably would have done a lighter purple, but I just used what I had in my closet. I have so many towels in my closet, but I do not have a light purple, but that would look cute as well. I don't even think I have a finished purple towel downstairs. All my finished ones are somewhere else. I have some, we're going to try this. So here's some light purple flannel. And then here's the towel. So honestly, I think purple would look really cool with it. A lighter purple. I just think the purple I have is just way too dark. So there's some options. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. And again, ask me any questions you need. I'm more than willing to help you out. So I hope you enjoyed today. Thanks for hanging in there. I know it was a long one. And have a great, safe, happy weekend. Talk to you guys later. Bye.